for being patient with me. And yeah, I'm just so freaking stoked that you're here. So I hope you guys can all hear me good. I've got my little chat window open now. So if you guys have any questions or whatever, I'm going to be checking at the end of the talk, and then we'll do a live Q&A. So that's going to be really, really awesome. All right. So I am here now. I know, I'm sure you guys all know me. My name is LK Elliott, and I'm here to talk to you guys about your fitness routine. But the thing about this is, I'm not just here to talk about your fitness routine, because I feel that we are out of balance in life in general. So when I just feel like, I'm trying to think where to even start with this thing, honestly, because there's just so much to get through, and I'm a little razzle-dazzled here from everything that's been going on with not working. But okay, I'm just going to start fresh. So what I'm going to be doing today is breaking down some fitness myths for you, because there's a lot of myths and beliefs that I believed that totally stunted my growth emotionally, personally, and definitely on my fitness journey. So I'm going to be busting those down. I'm going to be helping you guys build your confidence today rather than waiting until your after pictures are ready. I am going to be talking a little bit about my little analogies for how I feel the fitness industry is kind of projecting things on this. And I'm going to be giving you guys some simple solutions to make major change in your life. So let's go. Now, the first thing I just want to say really quick is, if I say something that's a little crazy or a little weird, because we all know how weird I am, I just want you guys to roll with it. So I know sometimes if I'm listening to somebody and they say something like, I'm like, yeah, that all makes sense. And then they say something that's kind of weird, and I'm like, ooh, like that's really strange. And it kind of like turns me off. So what I want you guys to focus on is, if you get one thing that makes sense tonight, then that's an awesome, awesome accomplishment, because it only takes one thing to really radically change your life. So try to like just embrace what we're doing, and you know, if something's for you, keep it, and if something's a little weird and you're not really too sure about it, then just send it on back and just keep listening and try to stay active in it, okay? We're good. No one's got any questions. No one's got any issues with hearing. It's all good. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, perfect. So let's get started with the fitness myths, because those are the ones I've been just dying to break down for you. And I have done such a nice job of printing them out on paper for you, so I look professional. Okay, so the number one, or the first, I should say, fitness myth that I'm about to break down for you is this. Oh gosh, is it backwards? It's so backwards. Okay, I'm just gonna read them to myself then. One size fitness plans fit all. Okay, so it's backwards, but you know what? I'm still gonna rip that up, because we need to understand. So people always have this, you know, oh, lose 10 pounds by doing this, or doing this, or doing this. And people that want you to believe that there's one perfect plan are people that are trying to sell you something, obviously, because there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all plan. It just doesn't exist. There's too many factors that we need to like take into consideration. So, I mean, something that works for me might not work for you, and something that works for you might not work for Sally down the road. And the thing is we're all totally bio individuals, so we have a completely different genetic makeup than every other person on this planet. So it's just trying to break away a little bit from this, okay, well, this worked for so-and-so, so I'm going to do it, and have total faith that it's going to work, when really what's really important is we need to experiment. I like to consider myself somewhat like a life scientist. So go out there, try some things. And so it's like, if you see one of these plans, give it a try, and then just see how it works. And if it works, awesome, stick with it. If it doesn't work, go to the next thing. But rather than you know, just believing the hype and following whatever and then being devastated when it doesn't work. It's like, just take the pressure off a little bit and just experience it. Give it a try. See what works. Just try different things and don't get too set on any one plan. So for me, I'm just not a big rules person. So I know a lot of times, like I talk about being a vegetarian, where really I'm a pescatarian, which means a vegetarian who eats fish. But really, I'm a donaritarian. And what that means, I don't know how many people watching right now are from the States. So a doner is like a gyro or like shawarma. Um, so I call myself a donaritarian. So I'm a vegetarian who eats fish on occasion. And every now and then, if I'm feeling like I want to have a meaty doner, I do. Like, I'm just not a rules person, because rules are meant to be broken. And I find the more strict we get and the more restrictive we get, it's just more stress. And so it's like the less expectations that we have, I mean, disappointment literally is the result of having expectations that weren't met. So if you get rid of your expectations and this like struggle hold that we have on results and our experience and how our disciplines and stuff like that, if you just release the grips a little bit, it's really amazing the kinds of love and the kind of support that you can give yourself, and you end up getting way better results by not being so strict with yourself. Okay? Do we have any questions about that? Anything we're wondering about? No? Okay, awesome. I know I said I wasn't going to check, but I'm just, every now and then I will. Okay, so second myth, totally backwards, so you can't read it, is getting fit is complicated. Let me rip that one up for you, because it's baloney. Nothing in life really is complicated. I know there's a few things maybe you could come up with, but I find when I'm talking to somebody, they always say, oh yeah, I know, it's complicated. It's complicated. It's not complicated, it's difficult. And there's a big difference, because really, what's complicated? Like, even on any level of your life, like you're in a bad relationship, oh, it's just complicated. No, it's not complicated. It's either a good relationship and you stay in it, or it's a not so good relationship and you get out of it. It's difficult, but it's not complicated. And the same thing is with fitness or making any transformation in your life. So with getting fit, it's this simple. So obviously there's a couple different goals with the whole fitness realm. So I'm going to kind of focus a little bit on weight loss, because I think most people can probably relate to that. But when it comes to weight loss, it is literally this simple. Calories in, calories out. If you are eating less calories than you are burning, you're going to burn fat. It's like that simple. And it's just that simple. So obviously there's a little bit more to it in the fact that we need to create balance in that. But I just want you guys to understand that it doesn't have to be like this crazy mad, I don't know, like concept or anything really complicated that you can't figure out on your own. It's just going back to that, you know, there's not one plan. So I'm going to try a few things and experiment and see what works and then roll with that. But I mean, it's literally as simple as eat less food and exercise, and make sure like you're eating healthy food, because technically there's that if it fits your macros crew that's eating donuts every day, and that's great for them, I guess, but it's like, why do you want to lose weight? Is it to have a banging body and who cares about how healthy you are? I think that we're kind of losing a little bit of the concept there. So let's just focus on health, but keep things simple. Like, eat whole foods, eat real food. I try to keep all my foods one ingredient if possible. And so it's like, you know, nothing that's processed and crap. And it's like, if we all just woke up a day, ate the proper portions, healthy, real food, real being the key word. We ate when we were hungry until we were satisfied, and we only ate when we were hungry, and then we did a lot of exercise to make sure that we were moving. It's like, that's it. That's the magic combination. So what I'm here to do, though, is to explain how we do need to consider the mind and the spirit in that equation, and we will get there. Actually, let's get there right now. Okay, backward sign. Diet and exercise is enough. I am going to rip this one up, because this is why we're here, because it's not enough. So I have lost weight and I have gained weight, and I have lost weight and I have gained weight, and I've lost weight and I've gained weight. And this has all happened because I didn't understand this main principle, that diet and exercise isn't enough. So when we're focusing on our body, we go to the gym, we do our diet, and we can definitely lose weight. I'm not saying that you can't get results from that, but in my experience, I could not gain sustainable results through just focusing on my body. And that's because there's things like lack of motivation. There are things like mental fatigue where you just get sick of things, and there's self-sabotage, there's binge eating, there's emotional eating. There's so many things that can take us off the wagon and completely derail our results, and that happens because we have an imbalance in ourselves, in our life, in our fitness routine, and that can be avoided by doing the body, the mind, and the spirit every damn day. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about that? Like, can I get a yeah on that? Like, I want to see something on that chat line, because for real, we need to get this, because it's just not sustainable. So I mean, we'll do the diet, we'll do the exercise, and then, you know, our boyfriend pisses us off, or our girlfriend's driving us crazy, or our boss is a jerk, and we take it out on all the food. And the thing is, it's not just like having one treat, because then we say, well, today's a total write-off anyway, so I'm going to eat everything. And then we just start rolling, and because our mental state isn't really that strong, we just kind of get all messed up. So I'm going to be going into that a little bit more, but what I just want you guys to kind of know right now is that emotional eating and self-sabotage and things like that, although they happen, and I know that we're probably really used to them, they don't have to happen. They don't have to happen if we're being proactive. If we are really taking the time and effort to make sure that we have a balanced approach to our life, so that we are taking care of our mind, we are learning every single day, we're reading, we're doing things that engage our mind, and spiritually, which is also emotionally, we're connecting with ourselves, we're taking time to be quiet, we're taking time to be grateful, like we're just taking that time for ourselves and adding that other element. So the analogy that I have for that, I don't want to get too far ahead, but I think, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna wait. My analogy is gonna wait until the next section. Okay, so our next fitness myth, nice and backwards for you, is eating healthy equals fat loss. Now, why am I ripping this one up? Because I'm like supposed to eat healthy, right? Now, let me just explain something really quick. Whenever I talk to someone who's looking to lose weight, I always get the same answer. It's like, I'll ask them, because honestly, if you're doing the body thing, I would say that your diet is probably responsible for 80% at least of your results. Because like in my experience, I can go to the gym twice a day, and if my diet is not on point, nice and lean, clean foods, right portions, if it's not right on the money, I'm just not losing weight, because it's just so important. It's because of the calories in, calories out. So you can bust your ass in the gym, but if you're taking down 1,000-calorie cheesecake or something, obviously that's a hell of a lot of time at the gym that you don't have. So our diet is so important, but so many people get really confused between healthy foods, I eat really healthy, and I eat for fat loss, because there's a big difference. There's a lot of really healthy foods that are super high calorie. So it's like, trail mix and stuff like that, or avocados. Like, I absolutely love avocados, and they're so healthy for you. But if you have 4 avocados in a day, that is a hell of a lot of calories. And so there's just a huge difference between eating healthy and eating for fat loss. And on top of that too, I find that there's a lot of issues, because with the food industry, everyone claims that their food is healthy. So I remember when I first started drinking protein shakes, and people were asking me about it, and they were coming in with Slim Fast shakes. And they're like, I'm going to lose all this weight because I have these Slim Fast shakes. And I know, like, I grew up looking at, my mom had Slim Fast shakes. So, it's a name that you trust, and you assume that it's going to help you get slim, hence the name. And I was like, okay, let me see this. And I read the nutritional value on this damn Slim Fast shake. And no joke, it had pretty much the same calories and everything as a chocolate bar. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, every every food is going to tell you that it's going to be good for fat loss when maybe it's not. And I mean, at the end of the day, I just say no processed food. So stick with healthy food that is good for fat loss. If you're eating vegetables, you'll be doing great. So it's just like being really aware of the calories in the food that you're eating. So it's like, for example, I used to have, you know, like peanut butter and jam on toast, on whole wheat toast. And I thought that was really healthy. But when you look, it's like sugar, fats, carbs, boom. And it just nails you. And so it's like same thing with fruit. Fruit's really good for you. But if you're looking to burn fat, you don't want to eat too much fruit because it's a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs. So it's just being mindful of that, okay? So this is my fifth and final fitness myth that I'm going to bust down. And I really love this one. And I really hope that either you have said this or that you've seen someone or heard someone say it. It drives me crazy. I don't think you can read this, but I want to tone my body. Now, the problem with this is you can't tone your body because toning is not a thing. Toning is not a verb. It's not something that we can do. Our body has many functions and toning is not one of them. So our body can burn fat. Our body can store fat. Our body can build muscle. Our body can lose muscle. Our body does not tone. So I think what the confusion is here, a lot of women don't want to get big and bulky, and which is a good thing because we really can't unless we're taking steroids, which I really hope any women watching this right now understand. Like, unless you are taking steroids, you're never going to look huge, because I tried getting huge for years and it just doesn't work. So back to toning. I think what you're looking for, rather than toning, is you are looking to burn fat, which would make you look tinier, and you're probably looking to build a little bit of muscle. So those things aren't really the easiest things to do simultaneously, but it's understanding that our body is constantly, it's not like in one day you just lose fat or you just gain fat. Your body is constantly kind of firing at all the cylinders. So it's like 1 second you're kind of like burning, 1 second you're kind of gaining, and it just depends on which way you're going. So if you're eating good calorie foods, like you're staying to your macros and stuff like that, you're going to be burning more than you're gaining, which is why overall in the day you lose pounds, okay? So you don't want to tone. What you're looking for is probably to lose fat, especially for women. You're probably looking to lose fat because the thing is like, you already have a six-pack. Everyone watching this right now has a mean six-pack, like totally shredded six-pack. But because we're holding excess weight, that is going to be covering up the abs. So if you were to lower your body fat percentage, then you will have the six-pack that you're looking for. Does that make sense? Okay, let me just see. Is there anything that anyone wants me to clarify on that? Okay, I see some good stuff. Okay. Yeah, no, these are really popular, but I mean, the toning one is just, you sound a little silly. Like, so just lose your body fat. Just stick to your diet and do a little bit of exercise, and I'll be getting into that in just a second, okay? So those are my fitness myths busted. Now, what I was talking about earlier with the body focus. The body focus is so common, like, especially when you're getting into fitness competitions and stuff like that. People, you know, they want to do the diet. Well, they don't want to do it, but they're going to do it. They do the diet, they do the exercise, and then they feel totally freaking imbalanced, and they're losing their minds, and, you know, they're sneaking cookies, or if they're sticking to their diet and their workout routine, they're struggling through it. And so what I want to invite you guys to do is to create balance in your life. Create balance in all aspects of your life, but let's focus on our fitness real quick here, okay? So I have this, I made like some pictures. And I mean, they're still going to be backwards, but it'll be a little bit better, hopefully, than the other ones. So really quick, an easy way to create balance in your life is through acceptance. And this is one of those things. It's not complicated, but it is difficult. Accepting your life as it is an absolutely pivotal step in changing your body, in changing your life, in changing your entire association with fitness and your fitness routine. Because so many of us, we we want to be like this. So we want to lose 10 pounds, let's say. And what we do is we look forward to losing those 10 pounds so much that we look at our current situation like something's wrong. And that is so, so damaging. It's so damaging for the whole process. So what I'm begging you guys to do is to accept yourselves as you are right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be giving you guys some tips here for loving yourself as you are. But when you choose to make an improvement in your life, it has to be an act of love. It can't be an act of hate. Because if it's an act of hate, then you're going to be up your own ass the entire time. You're going to be judging yourself. You're going to be really critical of yourself. And it's just not something that is conducive to any kind of growth or transformation, and absolutely no enjoyment. So how do you accept yourself? You just make the choice. You choose that, yes, I'm totally imperfect and flawed and maybe a little messy, and I've got an extra 10 pounds on me, but I love myself anyways. And when you can commit to that, it's so absolutely beautiful. And it really does set the tone completely for that whole journey. And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of put that bug in your ear while we're getting started, because incorporating your body, mind, spirit, this is my beautiful analogy that I love so much. If I can just pump my own tires, I love analogies. When we are going down, let's just pretend our life or our fitness journey is like a long winding road, right? And we can all relate to that, because you think you're doing so good and you're on the straight and narrow, and then it's like, boom, hard corner, and you're on your ass. So we're going down this long winding road. It's very unpredictable. It's full of lots of corners and bumps and humps and ups and downs. I'm sure we can all relate to that. Can we all relate to that? Let me see yes in the chat line here. Yeah, so I know that it's really windy and it's really twisty and it's really hard and it's really long. And if we're only focusing on our body, it's kind of like the equivalent of having one wheel on the ground. So we're on a unicycle. And I don't know about you guys, feel free to lift your hand up, but like, I cannot ride a unicycle. That shit is unstable and it's wobbly and it's really hard to fall off. And like, how difficult is it to navigate around different corners? It's really difficult, right? So that's your unicycle. And I made like this beautiful little picture here with a unicycle. So this is our body, mind, spirit. I know it's backwards, but you guys can use your imagination, right? So body, mind, spirit. And so we're focusing on the body so much, right? All of our efforts here, and like probably not even using that much of your mind. You're barely using your spirit. So we're on this wobbly little one wheel, right? So there's you on a unicycle. This guy seems to be doing way better than I would be doing. I'd be on my ass for sure. And there's a little poo emoticon, because that's how you feel when you're trying to chase your dreams and trying to chase your fitness goals and you are totally imbalanced. Because if you're on a triangle like this and you're not doing your spirit, you're like that. You're all wobbly and it's just not stable. So what's our alternative? When we focus on the body, mind, and spirit, it's like having a tricycle. We've got 3 wheels on the ground. We're nice and stable. It's totally beautiful. And like anyone can ride a trike, right? Like you put a little kid on a tricycle, no problem. They're hammering around. They're having a good time. And so by taking that time and really taking like that effort, so the effort that you would only be putting in at the gym and just in your diet, if you could just distribute that a little more evenly. So what I'm asking, I'm not asking you to give me another 2/3 of your time or your energy. What I'm saying is divvy up your energy between all 3, because when you are balanced, you will not need as much attention and focus on the body focus, because you're going to have a balanced focus. So it's like when you are, you know, meditating or doing yoga and practicing gratitude. And so I'm going to go into more examples on how to work your spirit. And with your mind, when you're reading and you're really engaged and you're focused on growth rather than perfection, you don't get as stressed out and you don't need to micromanage your fitness so much, because it's like your diet's going to be easier to follow because you love yourself and you're balanced and you're not trying to cram food in your mouth, because it makes it easier to make those choices, because it's like, I'm not going to eat that because I want to be really healthy and that's my #1 priority. So here is the happy diagram. There's your little tricycle, because we've got our body, mind, and our spirit. And they're a little bit more balanced, but really, like, it doesn't, as long as you're putting in kind of like an equal effort. I mean, here I'm kind of showing like a little less body, but when you're really focused on that foundation and you're really connected with yourself and you're really grounded and grateful, that is going to completely change the game for you. Because when things don't go your way, or when you slip up a little bit, which is absolutely inevitable, everyone slips up on this journey, you're going to be forgiving, and you're going to support yourself, and you're going to love yourself. And with your mind, when you've mastered your mind and you've taught yourself to not listen to every single thought that goes up in your head, it is incredibly powerful and very empowering, because then you don't buy into it all. And so it's really like the diet and the exercise are easy. That's the easy part, really. And when you've mastered these two, it just becomes so much easier. Okay, so that's that. So with the body, right? So we know the diet and the exercise, that's your body. And with your mind, it's really, you want to learn, you want to grow. But the biggest thing for us to master our mind in this whole journey is to accept challenges. Because people who are successful, they are comfortable with discomfort. They are comfortable with the struggle. They're totally comfortable being challenged, because their perception is wired in a way that they know that challenge is good for them. They know that, you know, strength is built through resistance. And oh, I just found out that the signs are backwards. Okay, I'll stop saying that. It's totally backwards for me. Yeah, so crap, where was I going there? Oh yeah. So our perception, it's just, our perception is absolutely pivotal, because really, like, strength is built through resistance. So it's like when you go into the gym and you push heavy ass weights, what you're doing is you're actually tearing your muscles, and then they grow back stronger. So this is where I got my whole big analogy for the spiritual squat, because a spiritual squat is kind of like your equivalent to what I want you to incorporate into your fitness routine. And that is an acceptance of getting knocked on your ass and getting back up. Because every single time you get knocked on your ass and you get back up, that's your spiritual squat. And it's making you stronger mentally. It's making you stronger emotionally. It's making you stronger spiritually. And it's just having that perception of like, wow, that happened. That really kicked my ass. It really hurt. It was painful. It was a struggle. And I'm better now because of it. And it's just focusing on that growth, because you're always going to have that voice in your head that says, this isn't fair, or this is bullshit, and I'm going to quit because this sucks. This is too hard. I'm never going to get there. And it's just when you can silence that and just embrace the journey, embrace the good days, embrace the hard days, embrace everything, and really, like, even give up that vocabulary of good and bad, because there is no good and bad. It's all just, it is what it is. And when you can accept it and your perception is on straight, that you can accept your challenges and like it's all good, you can move mountains with that power, because nothing can get you down, because you are like set in your mind. And so once you're set in your mind, it's really important to be set in yourself and to be stable and to feel safe with yourself. So with your spiritual, like, I know some people might be a little turned off by that, but it's like they're spiritual and it's kind of like emotional. It's all sort of tied in together, right? So it's all about feelings and being grounded and being connected to yourself and knowing how you're feeling. And we connect to that through, I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever done yoga here, or like even a good stretch, but you know, when you do yoga, and especially at the end, you're like laying there and you're all chilled out and you just feel so great. And it's because you've exercised that spiritual aspect. And really, yoga is beautiful because you're working your body, your mind, and your spirit all simultaneously. Same as like Tai Chi and stuff like that. Like, it's such a beautiful practice. And for people who aren't ready to like go there with meditation yet. So how do we work our spiritual and our emotional? The first thing that we do is we get really comfortable with emotions. And I know people really struggle with emotions because generally, like humans, we like to experience as much pleasure as possible and avoid as much pain as possible. And so obviously some of our emotions are really enjoyable, and those ones will totally entertain and enjoy and dwell in those ones, and it's beautiful. But when it comes to painful emotions, we really don't want to go there. We want to run away. We want to store it in the back of our minds and never think of it again. And that's how we kind of do it. And so we store all this stuff in the back of our head until something happens, and then we absolutely explode like a crazy person because we've been suppressing all these emotions. And that's really like the opposite of taking care of your spiritual needs. So something that we can do for our spirit, the easiest way that I have found to connect to myself on a spiritual level, and it's not religious, I'm not here to talk religion with you guys, it's being grateful. And I can't remember who said it, but they said, if the only prayer you say every day is thank you, that's enough. And it's like just saying thank you. Be grateful for the things in your life. And I mean, there are so many things. It's so easy to get caught up in the shit and to focus on the things that aren't going the way that we want them to, when really there are so many things that we could be grateful for. I mean, I am so ridiculously grateful for you guys being here. I'm so ridiculously grateful for my health. And like, I am grateful for all the little things. When I have breakfast in the morning, I am looking at my omelet and I am like, thank you for this beautiful omelet, because chickens had to give up their eggs for me. Farmers had to pick the eggs. They had to get transported to the grocery store. I had to have the money to buy them. And it's like, there's so many things that had to go so beautifully right just to bring me my omelet every morning. And I mean, I'm so grateful for the nutrition it brings me. But it's like, if I'm getting that excited about an omelet, imagine the things like when things actually go really good. So it's like being in a constant, perpetual state of gratitude. And it's like, even when things are not going the way I want it, I'm always looking for that silver lining. I'm looking for things that are going right. And I don't know how many of you follow me on Facebook, but on Instagram I haven't really shared. But my husband was recently diagnosed with cancer like a month ago. And like, you want to test your friggin' spiritual strength, man. You go through that. And it ended up, a spoiler alert, but it ended up that he was okay, and I'll do a blog or something on it, but he's totally fine, totally healthy. But there was a week and a half where we thought that he had a blood cancer. And it's like, your whole world falls apart and you don't know what to do. And I mean, that's a perfect example for me to go binge eat to try and make myself feel good. But because I was mentally strong and I had faith, I was looking for things to be grateful for. And I said, like, okay, well, whatever the situation I have today, and that is enough for me to be grateful. And what can we do today to just enjoy each other? And it's like, it's always being grateful. It's being grateful for, even when things don't go well, it's just being grateful that you're even here. I do see someone said that it froze. Is it freezing, or are we okay? We're all right? Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure that we're not losing anybody. Yeah, so it's just being grateful for everything. And like I like to say to people is, if you're having a hard time finding something to be grateful for, check your damn pulse, because every single moment that we are alive, we have a moment to change. Like, we have an opportunity to change our lives in a radical way. And that is such a gorgeous, gorgeous thing to focus on, because every single second that we are here is an opportunity to radically change our lives, to choose again, to choose better, to choose gratitude, and to find balance. So another thing with spiritual is faith versus fear. And really, I think this kind of comes down into the spiritual realm. So faith and fear are two very, very different things, but they're also similar in the fact that they are totally figments of our imagination. So going back to our perception, it's like, fear is imaginary. Fear is a perception, something that we project out in front of us. So fear is the image in our mind of how terrible something could be. And then faith, on the other hand, is the image in our mind of how beautiful and wonderful something could be. And so it's just recognizing that every single moment, like, you can't have faith and fear at the same time. It doesn't work like that. So if you have faith in something, you can't be fearful. And if you're totally fearful in something, you're not being faithful in it. So it's just recognizing that anytime you feel fear, you need to just replace that with faith. And It's just recognizing that it's just a projection. It's in your mind. It's, you know, do you want to project and imagine your life as hell, or do you want to imagine it as heaven? And it's a choice that we all make every single day. And it's totally something that you can control. And it's just accepting that that's the truth for you. Okay. So we've already talked about perception, and yeah, so not judging and trying to accept things. It is what it is. Our perception too of our body is, I believe that our bodies are a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. And when the first time I heard that, I did not like the way that sounded one bit, because I was a little bit overweight, and I was like, what are you implying? I love myself, even though I didn't. And the thing is when you really love yourself and you honor yourself, you eat healthy foods, not to get shredded, but because it's a way to honor your temple. It's because you want longevity and you want to have a great life. And we all know that our diet totally affects everything in our lives. So it's just not judging our body and just recognizing that our body is just a reflection of our habits and how we feel about ourselves. So don't look in the mirror and think, oh, I'm a fat ass, or whatever. You're not fat. You have fat. You have toenails too, and that doesn't make you toenails. It's getting that language out of your head and understanding that your body is just a reflection. So if you don't like the reflection that is, then change your habits and change the way that you think about yourself and honor yourself in a way that your body just absolutely exudes love and confidence. And through that, you start making healthier, happier decisions. And through that comes the transformation and all the magic. Okay, because I need you guys to understand that our thoughts are very powerful. Our thoughts are either building us up or they're beating us up. And it's like we are by far the most influential people that we talk to in a day. We are the most influential person. I'll go that far. We're the most influential person we talk to every single day. And we're talking to ourselves 24/7 here, unless we're sleeping. And it's like just being mindful, and that's where we start doing work on our mind of not necessarily buying into our thoughts, but learning to watch them. Because when you can watch your thoughts rather than engaging in them, like, oh, you're an idiot, and it's like, yeah, I'm a total idiot. It's like, no, wait, I'm not an idiot. Who said that? Like, who is that saying that? Because I don't believe that about myself. And so it's just being mindful of that. Because, yeah, I mean, you don't need to believe every thought that you hear. It's just totally unnecessary. And this is the thing, like, when we transform our thoughts and our beliefs, it's really, truly amazing the transformations that happen everywhere else in our life. I mean, I say it all the time. I was totally depressed. I was medicated for depression, anxiety, ADHD. I had a nice long list of things I was taking medication for. And when I look back at those times, I was so depressed and it was so dark. And when I look today, I'm in the same house. I have the same husband, the same car, the same job. Like, I'm doing all the same things. And externally, not much in my life has changed. But internally, everything has changed. And thus, everything externally has changed, even though physically they haven't. So it's like that power within us. And that's why I say everything that you need to transform your body, to transform your mind, your spirit, your entire life, everything you need is already within you. And I mean that with so much conviction. It is all within you. And I need you to know that, because a lot of people, I see comments all the time, and it's, oh, like, oh, I wish I had your willpower, or I wish I had anything that I have. I am absolutely not special whatsoever. I'm a pretty regular person. And it's just the fact that I've applied some principles and I found balance, and that's given me a lot of power. And that is something that you can literally have right now, this second. You don't need the six-pack to start loving yourself. You don't need a six-pack to feel confident. You don't need anything, because it's already within you, and it's just finding it. It's going inside rather than looking externally for all your answers. Start looking inside and believing in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, that's when the magic happens. That's when the real changes happen. So that's kind of my simple solution here, is believing in yourself. I mean, and just changing your perception, changing the way, and I know, like, it's not easy. I would never say this is easy, but it's very simple. I'm a very simple lady. And it's self-love, to me, is the ultimate currency. If you're looking to exchange anything, like a poor relationship for a good relationship, an overweight body for a fit body, a healthy body for an unhealthy body, it all comes down to self-love, because that is the absolute fundamental. I honestly don't know where I would be right now if I didn't learn how to love myself. Because when I was a kid, I didn't love myself. When I was a young adult, I did not love myself. Literally up until probably a couple of years ago, I did not love myself, not even a little bit. And it's something that, I totally am. I don't know. I like to share that because I don't feel shame about it. I had a really rough experience because I didn't love myself. And through not loving myself, I really attracted negative experiences to me. And I need you guys to know that self-love starts, it's very, very simple. You know what? I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. I'll get to this because I'm gonna tell you how to build your confidence. So we'll get there. How to love yourself. But just know that that is your first step, and that's gonna be your homework for tonight. Is doing something to love yourself, and it's gonna fucking rock you. And I'm sorry, Mom. I know you're listening, but I can't help it. It's so powerful. You don't even know. Okay, so. Yeah, so basically, like, the simplest solution for making a huge, huge change in your life is, I'm going to show you how to build your confidence and how to love yourself, but it's just embracing the journey. It's stop trying to control it. Work on that perception of acceptance. Accept the journey. It's going to be hard. It's going to be long. And you, my love, are going to be imperfect. You are going to totally make mistakes. And that's awesome, because when you make mistakes, that means you're trying something. And if you do the exact same thing every single day and never try anything, and you lock yourself in a room and you never talk to anyone and you just sit in a ball, you might not make any mistakes, except for the fact that you're completely wasting your life. Making mistakes is simply proof that you're trying something, that you're doing something, that you're standing for something. And I want you to start celebrating your mistakes, because it means you're trying. It means you're getting out of your comfort zone, because a comfort zone is a really beautiful place. It's a really comfortable place. It's a place that we all love to be. It feels so good, but you know what? Nothing grows there. Nothing grows there. So if you want to change, you need to get out of your comfort zone, and that's going to involve taking some risks and making some damn mistakes. So just get comfortable with it. I make mistakes all the time. All the time. It's unbelievable. I've probably made 1,000 mistakes during this webinar alone. And it's like, I'm cool with it. I've made peace with it, because it is what it is. And I'm so happy with the people that are here, and I'm happy with what I'm sharing with you, because whatever was supposed to be said is going to be said, and that's it. It's awesome. Yeah, so let's get on to building confidence, because it's so freaking important. And so self-love and acceptance are the key fundamentals for building confidence. And the thing that's so difficult with confidence is we so often rely on external sources for our confidence. So, like, I'm a prime example. My entire life was based around being successful, because to me, I grew up with this belief that I am only lovable if I'm exceptional. Does anyone else know that feeling of, like, when I'm doing good, I'm good, and when I'm not doing good, I'm a piece of shit? No? Is that a little extreme? Okay, so that was my experience. And the thing about seeking externally for self-confidence and self-worth is that external circumstances are completely unpredictable and uncontrollable. The only thing you can control is yourself. And so that's your perception, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. So if you are saying, well, if my parents say that I did a good job on this paper, then I'll feel good. Well, why can't you just feel good because you know you did a good job on the paper? It's so simple, right? Like, stop relying on other people, because for one, people's opinions of you They do not dictate your self-worth, not even come close to that, because some people think you're freaking awesome and some people just don't jive with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's when you are, and so many of us too have the horrible habit of picking the worst person ever to judge our self-worth on. It's like that one person that will never accept us ever, that we just absolutely need. And you just need to give that up. You need to give that up, because when you love and accept yourself fully and unconditionally, you stop giving a shit about whether other people love and accept you. And that's a fact. So it's just knowing and understanding deep in your heart, this is the decision that you must make. You can say this for yourself, and I implore you to, anytime, if you want to say it right now. But it's like, for me, it's like, I am totally imperfect. I am full of flaws. I make mistakes every single day, but you know what? I'm perfectly lovable. And I love myself. I love and accept myself, even though I make mistakes. I completely love and accept myself. And I repeat that to myself all the time. If I make a silly mistake, it's like, okay, you know what? That was so silly. What were you thinking? But I love you. It's okay. I forgive you. And it's having that kind of self-talk rather than you're such an idiot. What were you thinking? Da, 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 and beating yourself up when you're already feeling vulnerable and probably hurt and, and scared, because life is scary and we all just want to be loved and accepted. And so when we can make that choice to love and accept ourselves, it really doesn't matter about what other people say or do to us, because we love and accept ourselves. And every other person on this planet can turn their back on you, but you won't turn your back on you. And so you got your own back, and it makes life a totally, totally different game. So the first step really to loving yourself is making that distinction that you are imperfect, you make mistakes, you have flaws, and you're never going to be perfect, and that you're still totally lovable and totally amazing, even though you're not perfect. Second thing, stop criticizing yourself. Never, ever, ever criticize yourself. There is nothing at all that you can do that ever warrants you criticizing yourself. And stop criticizing others too, because now you're just judging. Just love yourself, and who gives a shit if you make mistakes? Like, just have peace. Say, you know what? Yeah, I'm imperfect. That makes sense. I would make that mistake. And it's not a big deal. But it's just accepting it. And so stop criticizing yourself. And don't worry, because you are imperfect, so you will criticize yourself. You'll continue to criticize yourself. So it's just a matter of, if you catch yourself, don't criticize yourself for criticizing yourself. Just make the decision, okay, no, I don't do that anymore, because I love myself. I accept myself. And then point out something lovely about yourself, because at the end of the day, we all do the very best that we can do. And that goes for yourself, definitely, but it also goes for other people. And I'm going to recommend something for self-love that seems a little strange, and you're not going to like it, and you're certainly not going to like doing it. But if you want to love yourself, you need to forgive yourself, and you need to forgive others. And that's a really hard one to do, because we hate to forgive people because we just love holding in those grudges. And for me, I used to wear my hatreds like a badge of honor, man. Like, it was like, yeah, I hate all these people, and I go out of my way to like give them nasty looks, but it only hurt me. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. So we need to forgive people, and we forgive people by understanding that everyone does the very best they can, or else they would do better. And that's how I learned to heal and how to forgive. In my book, I talk about my childhood, and I forgave my parents because I learned to understand where they were coming from. I understood that they were doing the very best they could in their situation, and I knew that if they could do better, they would have done better. So how could I possibly hold them responsible? It's just agreeing to let it go so that I can be free. You're not letting the other person off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook for all that pain. Forgive people. Okay, so really quickly here, because I know we're kind of running like a little late. I'm going to go a few extra minutes. Are you guys okay with that? Because we did start like 10 minutes late. Are we good with that? Does anyone else, anyone got an issue with a little bit of extra goodness? Okay, I'm taking that as a yes. So I'm going to give you guys some tips here for like just fitness self-love. These are some of my little tricks that I don't tell anybody, but you guys get to know because you're here. Okay, so loving our bodies are really hard. It's a hard thing to do because there's so much junk out there. There's Photoshop out there. There's ads everywhere. I just flipped through Chatelaine magazine, which is a Canadian magazine, and it was like literally over half the magazine was just cosmetics and beauty products, and it's like every single page you flip, you're like, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I don't look like that, da, 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 and you're constantly getting these subliminal messages in your head. So to love your body, recognize that that shit is fake. That's not real. So even like Instagram and stuff like that, that's all smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But I want you guys to use that to your advantage. So use the smoke and mirrors to your advantage, because you'll know that what you see is not what is real, for one. But two, you can use it to your own benefit. So I don't know who follows me on Instagram, but you'll probably notice that I take a hell of a lot of selfies in my bathroom. Why do you think that is? Because the lighting is the bomb. The lighting is the bomb.com, okay? So when I am struggling with body image, I literally will only look at myself. And this is going to sound fucking crazy, but do it. I swear, it's like a miracle. When I am having a hard time with my body image, I only look at myself in natural light, because natural light is the most flattering light for your body ever. It looks amazing. It makes all the abs look nice. It makes all your body look beautiful. It's awesome. And I also have special mirrors. So not like magic mirrors or anything, but I have mirrors set up in my house where I know the lighting is good. And if I'm not feeling really great about myself, I'll go in front of this mirror that I know is my absolute best angle, best lighting, best everything, and I hit that shit. I take a few poses and I look and I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, I can work with this. And it's literally kind of like shifting my physical perception by being selective. Because really, that's what everyone else is doing, right? They're using all the fancy lighting and all the good stuff. So it's like using that to your advantage. And so rather than, you know, looking in the same crappy mirror, and like, I mean, for me, in the same bathroom that I take my selfies, if I turn the light on, it's like sometimes I kind of look chubby, and then I turn the light off and I'm like, bam, there's the muscles. But it's just lighting. So it's like, go around your house and find your favorite mirror. What mirror do you feel most beautiful in? And what lighting looks best? And find your sweet spot. And when you're having a hard time with your confidence, go to that sweet spot and look in the damn mirror, and you pick out things that you love about yourself. And I'm sorry if I'm pointing my finger, but you gotta love yourself. And sometimes you just need to find things. So be bold and do something a little crazy and do something different. And while you're in the mirror, and this is gonna really sound crazy, but I'm still gonna throw it at you guys because I love you and I want to help you. Look at that mirror. And it's gonna be hard the first time, but the more you do it, the easier it's gonna get. Look yourself in the eyes, give yourself that eye contact, and tell yourself, I love you. I accept you. You are doing the best you can, and this body is banging. Your body is wonderful. You have more than your body to offer, but your body is beautiful. And pick out something in that mirror that you freaking love, that you can accept. And even if you're faking it till you make it, I don't care. But look yourself in that mirror every single morning and say, I love you. And I have another challenge for you. Every time you walk by a mirror, you can say it in your head. If you're in an elevator and there's a mirror, look in your eyes and just in your head say, I love you. I fucking love you. You're irresistible. I am stuck with you the rest of my life, and I'm cool with it because you're fucking great. And just start loving yourself. Like, cultivate a little relationship with yourself, because there is that inner dialogue all the time. And you can either look in the mirror and be like, ew. Or you can be like, yeah, this is great. This is a beautiful, healthy body. And you know what? If I want to be healthier, awesome. I can do things, you know, like, for me, if I'm saying I'm fat and I need to lose weight, well, I don't want to diet then, because that's not fun. But it's like, you know, I really love myself and I want to fuel myself. And I am loving myself through the art of feeding myself healthy food, and exercising because it's good for my heart, that's where the magic happens, because it's not a struggle, because you're loving yourself and you're doing it out of love rather than hate. Okay, so yeah, so the mirror work's really huge. Staying away from external sources of praise. Pick that good lighting. I swear, you guys might be laughing, but it's freaking magical. You just wait. Like, I want to see if anyone commented on that because it's so funny. But for real, it is a game changer. And yeah, so the only other thing that I want you guys to think about is celebrating. Now, when was the last time you celebrated something for yourself? Like, and I don't mean like a hockey game or something like that, but like, what about celebrating your little victories? Like, there are so many amazing things that you do in a day. I mean, even if it's just, like, if you're driving to work, rather than being the asshole that won't let anyone in, like, just stop and let someone in. And you can celebrate that. You can be like, hey, that was really nice that I did that. But it's like, celebrate your victories, because you can't expect other people to do it for you. Celebrate your victories. Love yourself fully and unconditionally. And stop comparing yourself to others, because comparisons are the thief of joy. You might be totally happy with your body, like you're working out and you're seeing results and you're feeling really great about yourself, and then you go look at a picture of someone else, now you're comparing, and now you're like, no, I'm still fat. Or, you know, you're comparing your first chapter to someone's 12th chapter, and you don't know what's really going on behind closed doors with that person. So if you catch yourself comparing, remember that you love yourself, and when you love yourself, you don't need to compare yourself to others, because there's no comparison. No one can compare to you. You're freaking magnificent. You're totally unique. You are one of a kind, absolutely amazing. And the thing is your imperfections, your flaws, and your mistakes, those are all little beautiful pieces of your puzzle that make you you. That's what makes you so amazing. And I need you to understand that how spectacular you are. And like, seriously, just understand that everything that you may not love about yourself is still totally lovable. And it's all what makes you you. It's what makes you unique. And my dream would be for you to be able to recognize that and love yourself and really bring that love into your journey. And so I hope you guys weren't looking for like specific workouts and diets, because I just want you guys to Google and use your mind to research things. Use your heart and your spirit to love yourself. And when you have cultivated the knowledge and the love, you can use that. You can apply it into your everyday. And it's an absolute game changer. So if you can apply those into what you're already doing, you'll see results. If you find something new, apply it to that, and it's going to just absolutely transform everything. You can change everything in your life by applying self-love and knowledge and doing the whole experience, body, mind, and spirit. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm so freaking excited that you guys were here, but I have one huge major announcement that you guys need to know, and you guys are the first ones to know, and I'm so glad that this isn't backwards. I am offering my very, very first online course, and I am freaking stoked, because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I'm like, yeah, do the body, mind, spirit, and then I'm like, see you later. So what I did, it's called the Spiritual Squat, obviously, because it's a fierce name, and it's a 3-week webinar series. So what's going to happen is you get 3 weeks with me, totally undivided attention, and so I'm going to do 3 webinars. It starts on May 5th, so it's 2 weeks from now. And so the first night, I'm going to be doing a big, all of them are 1-hour webinars, and I'm going to be talking about the mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm breaking this down into mind, spirit, and then body. So the first week, the webinar is going to be all about actual tools. I'm going to have weekly challenges for you guys, which are going to be fierce and so fun and really challenging, and I'm going to be doing them with you. And and then the second week we're going to work, so the first week I'm going to be working on mental. So we're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn how to conquer that voice in your head, how to change your perception in a major way, how to transform your thoughts, how to really overcome mental blocks, how to overcome fears. Like, it's going to be freaking amazing. The second week is going to be on spirit, where we're going to work on our self-love. We're going to work on our confidence. We're going to work on connecting with ourselves. It's going to be absolutely life-altering. And then on the third week, I'm going to be working on the body. So you guys are going to get specific custom video workouts that no one else is going to see. I'm going to be filming myself doing the workouts. I'm going to be sharing different diet plans that you can try, because like I said, there's not just one plan. So I'm going to share a few of the ones that I've tried, and you guys can give it a shot. I'm going to be sharing so much, like self-care. It's going to be unbelievable. And so I'm pretty sure there's a link in the bio of the YouTube link. So let me know if you see it, because I want to make sure that that it's there for you. And if not, I can email it to you. I'm pretty sure that it's on the very bottom. Yeah, it's right there. I just want to make sure. Yeah, so it is literally, this is awesome. And then I have a huge bonus that I'm freaking pumped for. I'm going to be giving you guys a downloadable workbook. And no joke, this workbook I have been working on for over 5 years, and that's no joke. 5 years. I broke down every single muscle group. I wrote down different exercises for each muscle group. I have broke down like so much stuff. It is freaking unreal. And I'm going to be giving you 5 years of my life in a workbook that you'll be downloading. So it'll be released each week with the relevant topics. And what you're going to learn, it's going to be so cool. And I know some of you guys, you're like, well, I'm here for fitness results. I want the body. But you can't handle the body. What we need to do is build a beautiful foundation with the spirit and the mind. And when you have that locked down, when you are no longer a prisoner to your thoughts and a prisoner to your fears and the barriers, and you are connected, you're grounded, you're stable, so that things don't knock you down, then you tackle the body. And that's what I want to teach you. And this is going to be like step by step. So if you enjoyed this webinar, I'm going to be freaking bringing it, but like really specific. Like it's not going to be vague. I'm going to be giving you challenges and things to do. So it's like you're going to have homework for the next week, and then we'll do the next webinar and you'll have homework for the next week, and then the next one. It's amazing. It is going to absolutely freaking rock you. And originally I was going to charge like around $70 for it, which, I mean, think about a personal trainer. A personal trainer is like that much for 1 hour. I'm giving you 3 hours plus 5 years of my life in a workbook. But I just love you guys. And I want to give you guys a discount for showing up, because I just adore you. So I'm actually selling it for $48. So that's going to be really awesome. Like we're talking $50, and this is going to change your life. I'm not shitting you. Like I have been working on this so long and so hard, and I am going to deliver for you guys. I'm going to help you change your life, because like I said, it's already within you, but I'm going to give you the tools to dig it out. Okay, so I'm so thrilled, and I really, really hope that that you guys will cash in on this, because I really think you'll enjoy it. It's going to be absolutely freaking amazing. So we're at our 10-minute mark here, so I'm going to be signing off quick. But I want to know if you guys have any questions. Is there anything that I didn't answer that you guys need to know, or any questions about the course, or anything that I've said? And let me know. I'm watching the live ticker now, and I just want to see if you guys have any questions. And I'm so grateful for you guys being here. And I really, really, really hope that you guys join me, because this course is just going to be, it is going to be next level shit. And I think that it's seriously going to change your guys' life. I mean, it's going to change your fitness life, but it is really going to change so much more than that. You can take these principles and apply them into every single aspect of your life. And that's the thing. It's when you've mastered one area of your life, you can master them all. And that's the truth, because you've found that balance, and you've found that way to motivate yourself through self-love, through self-acceptance. Through self-acceptance of right now, you propel yourself to the future. And it's really, really awesome. And I really hope that you guys will join me. And yeah, so you guys will have, so May 5th is the very first first webinar. So you have until May 5th to pay for that. So it's available on my website, www.lkelliott.com, and there's a link in the bio that will take you right to the page. So the page tells you more about the course. It gives you an outline of what we're talking about, and it's really, really awesome. So yeah, so you guys have 2 weeks, and I'll be sending out reminders and stuff like that through Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So does anyone else have any other questions, or was that it? I think that's all I see. One last refresh. Okay. All right, I guess I answered your questions. That's good. I'm glad I didn't leave you guys hanging. I wasn't sure. Okay, so that would conclude my very first live webinar. And I just want to applaud you guys because you invested this time in me, and your time is so precious. And it really means the absolute world to me. And I just absolutely love you guys unconditionally. And I really, really hope to teach you guys to do the same. So have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your night. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for making my night so absolutely spectacular. Yeah, sending you guys love and light and good vibes. And hopefully we'll see you guys May 5th for the Spiritual Squat course, okay? Mwah! You guys take care. Thank you so much.